Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Three news stories for you. Firstly, drones have been spotted over Tigray. Who deployed these drones? Question is, are Eritrean drones operating over Tigray or Ethiopian drones? Several people are confirming that they saw drones. Are these drones reconnaissance drones? Why are they being launched? Obviously, no strikes are being conducted, but what is happening actually there? Secondly, Tigray viewers, we know that on Friday, John Madid talked to a large gathering. He addressed a large gathering in Mekelle. It was shown as if he talked to Tigray youths. Did he talk to Tigray youths or TPLF cadres? What happened at the venue? Early viewers, Ethiopia is trying to diffuse the tension in South Sudan. Interesting development. Ethiopian government cannot solve its conflicts internally on its own. It needs support of foreign powers to talk to armed groups operating in the country, but it is willing to solve a conflict in its neighborhood. Let's start, viewers. Firstly, drones, viewers. Drones are back in operation in Tigray. During 2-year-long war in Tigray, we saw that drones were heavily deployed to Tigray. Reconnaissance drones mainly, but the reconnaissance drones actually helped ENDF a lot in ENDF's operations. Ground offensives were also supported by these drones. Then drones were used to conduct drone strikes to drones, directed airstrikes as well. Drones themselves fired missiles. So drones can be used for several purposes. Drones are back in operation. Different parts of Tigray, some drones have been seen flying. Question is, who deployed these UAVs? Some sources are reporting that Eritrean drones are flying over Tigray. They say drones have been spotted over Tigray Eritrea border areas. We don't have known verified information about Eritrea's drone capabilities, but Eritrea has been in quest of acquiring drones. So I think Eritrea has acquired drones, but still we're waiting for uh, verified information. Ethiopia does have drones. What I have learned through some sources and through whatever I can to verify this information, the drones deployed in Tigray are not Eritrean drones. Reportedly, ENDF drones are operating over Tigray. And they've been seen not just over Tigray Eritrea border. They've been seen over Mekelle too, seen over Agula, Vakro, southern Tigray as well. It's highly unlikely that EDF would send its drones deep into Tigray, flying at low altitude over Mekelle, over southern Tigray. It's highly unlikely. ENDF drones are reportedly operating. Why? Well, so far the flights are for reconnaissance purposes, for surveillance purposes. Drones have high quality cameras which work in all weather types. work uh, at night as well. And federal government obviously wants to monitor the movement, the actions of Tigray military and EDF, Eritrean Defense Force. That is why these drones have been deployed. They're collecting data about mobilization of Tigray forces and EDF. Drones want to confirm if there is any visible link established between the two sides militarily, Tigray military and EDF. This is what I have learned. So now you will see these drones continue their operations in Tigray. Federal government is watching the developments in Tigray very closely, obviously. Federal government is not sleeping. Abraham Bale said 3 days ago that federal government has all the needed information about links between Eritrea and TPL. Let's see. So far, drones are collecting data, collecting information, verifying the developments on the ground. Secondly, viewers, on Friday, John Madid, a senior Tigray general, talked to a large gathering. He addressed a large gathering in Mekelle. I said that 2 to 3 days ago that John Madid was going to address TPLF people, and this is what happened. On Friday, it wasn't that everyone was allowed to enter the Martyrs Monument Hall where this event was held. Dozens of youths were not allowed to enter the venue because they did not have the they were not invited, you can say. TPLF people had compiled a list of participants, and the participants were mainly pro TPLF, the Bretsian people. Only those were allowed. No new names were allowed. Dozens of youths were seen standing outside the venue. They were not allowed. And firstly, secondly, interestingly, a few regional media outlets were invited to cover the program, but those who went to cover the program, they were told to leave the premises. When Madid talked to people, talked to the youths, talked to TPLF cadres, media was not allowed to cover it. So what happened, what they discussed, no one knows. I mean, if it was a public discussion between military and youths, it should have been public. It should have been broadcast live on Tigray TV, on DWTV. Rather, it was held secretly. That just tells what might have been discussed. Gitachoreda held a parallel meeting 2 days ago. On Thursday, he met with youths and he asked the youths to organize themselves. He said youths have a big role to play in prosperity, development, and politics of Tigray. What did John Madid say to TPLF cadres? We don't know, but it seems that decisions are being made. Gradually, you'll see implementation of decision. This time, military is very careful. Last time, military disclosed its plans, and that strategy backfired. Getachew group managed to put up a stiff resistance. Military went at the back foot. Now, military is doing everything in secret. Military held meetings, its internal meetings. Nothing has been said about those meetings. Now, military meeting with TPLF, the Bretsian people, no statement. Rather, media was not allowed to cover it. Something big is cooking, it seems, in Tigray. Lastly, we heard South Sudan, where an internal war, a civil war is brewing. If there is no intervention, we could see the destabilized, weak country return to pre 2018 era when Reich Machar and Salva Kiir fought for 5 years. They signed peace deal in 2018 to steer the country to election. Peace deal could not be fully implemented. Election could not be. By the way, peace agreements are not implemented generally. You saw what happened in Sudan. There too, Omar al-Bashir was removed. People hoped that they would have democratic government, but military and RSF, Burhan and RSF took over. Abdullah Hamdok had only symbolic importance. He was put on a house arrest. Then military and RSF fought. In South Sudan, election could not be held. Reich Machar and Salva Kiir back to fighting. In Ethiopia, Pretoria implemented, but demobilization could not be implemented. Tigray says that the withdrawal of non-ENDF forces has not happened. The issue of restoration of TPLF status, dispute over territories contested by Tigray, Amhara continuing. Peace deals only silence guns, but generally peace deals don't lead to lasting peace because maybe those who negotiate, those who mediate, they just lose interest. And that is why issues remain and sometimes issues are reignited. In South Sudan, yesterday, a general was killed. In Nasser town, you know that white army backed by Reich Machar is fighting national forces led by Salva Kiir. And 2 days ago, South Sudan government put Reich Machar under house arrest. A minister from Reich Machar group was arrested too, and deputy chief of military was also detained. Yesterday, a general was killed who was conducting a rescue operation in Nasser town. He was working as part of UN peacekeeping mission. UN peacekeeping mission issued a statement calling it a war crime. Obviously, the general was in a helicopter. Helicopter was shot down and he was killed reportedly. Ethiopia has sent its representative to mediate between Salva Kiir and Reich Machar reportedly. Ethiopia shares border with South Sudan. It has been working on collaborating with South Sudan to build a corridor connecting South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Djibouti, or Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Djibouti, or South Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya corridor. And a few months ago, Ethiopia loaned some money to South Sudan to build a road as part of this corridor project. Gideon Timotheus, Ethiopian Minister of Foreign Affairs, arrived in Juba, South Sudan yesterday. He met with Salva Kiir, South Sudan's president. He's expected to meet with with Reich Machar, to deputy president, leading the other group. It's good to see Ethiopia trying to mediate between the two groups in South Sudan, but Ethiopia should try to solve its internal conflicts as well on its own. Ethiopia needs EU, US, African Union, IGAD to solve issues with OLA, with FANO, with TPLF. But it's quick to intervene in South Sudan. Let's see. Will Ethiopian government be able to make peace in South Sudan? That remains to be seen. Thanks for watching.